Ron Chimelis is Viewpoint columnist for The Republican and Masslive, and he regularly drops by to share with us some of the issues that are catching his attention. In this latest visit, we started by asking Ron about his votes for the 2016 class of inductees for the Baseball Hall of Fame.
It's a privilege. There's about 305 million Americans who think they're qualified to do it. They all have an opinion, and that makes it more lively. I do consider it a privilege, and I take it seriously.
You always come out and discuss your vote. Not everybody does. You feel it's something to be debated and discussed and have fun with publicly.
I feel it should be. I feel if I'm willing to be a voter, I should be willing to account for myself and my vote and explain for it. We're not forced to do that. I believe the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield should open up its vote. That's been a big debating point here. It's a vote in secret. I'm not comfortable working in secret. I'll defend my vote, and people, if they disagree, that's okay too.
You made the point this year that you basically do not vote for players that you feel have pretty conclusively been connected to steroid use. And this year that includes Roger Clemens, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds. You're pretty strong in that feeling.
I am, because Cooperstown, as you mentioned, this is something really special to people, and there aren't many special institutions left. Most of our institutions in society have been tarnished in some way, and if this is going to be tarnished too, it's not going to be because of my vote, and I'm not alone in that. So I think there's a standard to be kept, and if the information is strong, then I shy away from them. I don't vote for them.
Now, at the same time, you said you voted for Mike Piazza, Jeff Bagwell. There have been steroid rumors attached to both of them. Not very well, your reasoning there, why you would vote for them.
And this is a part of the vote that's not fun. I don't want to play God. I don't want to try to figure out what happened when I wasn't there. And I find myself in that position. But in Piazza and Bagwell's case, there's nothing but rumors. There are substantial rumors, but no reports, no substantive documents, nothing to trace truth to. And I don't feel comfortable saying no to people like that. Piazza, I didn't vote for him for 2 years because I was on the edge about that. And I finally decided I have nothing really strong to deny his vote, so I'm voting for him this year.
You also revealed that you voted for one of the great but controversial heroes of Red Sox World Series lore. You know where I'm going?
Can't imagine.
Curt Schilling.
Curt Schilling.
He of the bloody sock.
Well, he's controversial, but not really because of baseball. It's because of all the other entrepreneurial activities and all the other things he gets involved with. But looking at him on the field, he was a tremendous post-game competitor. When the greatest are supposed to shine, he was one of the greatest playoff pitchers of all time. He won 216 games, only 3 fewer than Pedro Martinez, who was an obvious, to me, first-round pick last year. Again, not the person I voted for originally, but this year I said, that's good enough for me. And he was clean. He competed against steroid people, and he did well. And I would prefer to give those people the benefit of the doubt.
I remember reading somebody in baseball, and I think it was one of his managers, said something fascinating about him. And you may remember the quote, and please correct me if I'm getting it wrong, but it was basically, he said, here's a great pitcher, a hardworking guy. 1 day out of 4, he's a tremendous workhorse. Other 3 days out of 4, he's a horse's backsside.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Tough guy to deal with.
Well, I think I'm the one that told you that quote. I have heard that quote, and there are times I think he's very opinionated. He politicizes a lot, and he complicates a lot. I'm a political writer myself, so I shouldn't say that anybody doesn't have a right to his opinion. But Schilling is controversial for reasons that go beyond baseball. And I'm trying to look at this as his baseball career, and based on that, I'm comfortable voting for him. He needs to get almost twice as many votes as he's received. I don't think he's going to do it, but I did vote for him this year.
He almost seemed to enjoy offending writers, especially.
He's good at it, too.
And those are people that, let's face it, they're going to decide if you get in the hall or not. Jim Rice, for many years, a lot of people thought it was just because he wasn't a big media guy.
I want to say, I think that's always been very unfair. The writers, we are not perfect. We are human beings. But I can honestly say I haven't seen anybody left out of the Hall of Fame on personal vindictive motives. I know that's why Rice thought he didn't make it for all those years, but the Boston writers, who he did offend, generally voted for him. It was the people out of town. And in Schilling's case, he says people don't vote for him because he's a Republican. Most of the writers I know are Republicans. We don't care.
The star of this class, it seems to everybody, the sure bet, Ken Griffey Jr.
The one that I'm sure will get in when the vote is announced on Wednesday. There might be. I think Piazza has a good chance. I think Trevor Hoffman has a good chance. But Griffey, I don't see any reason that he's not going to be an easy first-round selection, and I think he should be.
Let's shift gears, talk about something else. You wrote a fascinating column, and I know it got a lot of reaction, talking about the relevance of single-gender colleges and it's mostly women's colleges these days. Certainly with two of the great historic women's colleges in the area, Smith and Mount Holyoke. I know you got some heat and you took some questions and criticism right away, but you think it's a relevant idea worth discussing.
I think it's a fair question, and it's not a crusade. I'm not trying to close down Smith and Mount Holyoke, but I am trying to raise the question, what they gave to society decades before, is it still relevant today? Because to me, it is discrimination. If I had a son, which I don't, but if I had a son that wanted to go to those colleges, he would be denied because of his gender. That's discrimination, and I have a problem with that. I understand why it existed before, but that was then.
And yet, as you well know, you've heard it more than I have, the folks who defend those colleges say, look, women can still go into a male-dominated environment and be kind of marginalized. And they're never the president of the club, they're always the secretary. That's one of the arguments that we still hear.
And it's not a bad argument. There's truth to that argument. My solution would be, let's take a look at the root cause and why that happens at the co-ed universities and in the workplace. And I think the country is doing that. I just have a problem with the fact that colleges, there's a big debate about academic freedom and be able to speak your mind on campus. When you eliminate an entire gender of people, even our gender, Jim, even the men, I think you're subtracting from that discussion, and I don't think in 2016 it's necessary anymore.
Do I recall you writing that you will visit one or both of those schools in coming weeks?
One, a very nice invitation, and sure, I'm going to take them up on it. I understand their side of the story. They're not bad people, but my questions remain, is it as necessary in 2016 as it was maybe in 1946, 1976? They had a great historical reference, but those were a long time ago. I think we're at a point now we really should look at opening up the conversation and not discriminating against men or against women.
Similar vein, you wrote a column questioning the relevance today of the Harlem Globetrotters basketball team, of course, who date to the days when African-American players couldn't get in the NBA. The NBA wasn't anything like it is today in any sense, but 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, you say, is it as relevant or is it still relevant?
Well, I raise a question other people have raised. I think it is still relevant, but in a very different sense. I think it's clean entertainment, it's fun, it's for kids. I have no problem with the relevance of that. I don't really look at it as a basketball team. Back in the day, they had some of the greatest black players in the world, and their entertainment was based on skill. Passing, dribbling, they did spectacular things with the basketball. Now it's mostly visual and verbal comedy. I don't think that's wrong, but it is different. And I know black people who say maybe that day has passed as well. But I think it's harmless, and I think it's well meant, and that's good enough for me.
I want to take just the last minute or so to talk about something you wrote in memoriam, really, recently. Someone I was acquainted with, you worked with, I think, and knew better, who passed away the holiday season, Rhonda Swan, a terrific writer and personage at the Springfield papers.
Absolutely, and the reason I wanted to write it was because, and I didn't know her really, I knew of her, but she was in it for the right reasons. We ask ourselves, why are we doing this? To just provoke people? That's what I've been accused of, unfairly. But she didn't do that to provoke people, she did it to provoke thought. And she succeeded in that respect. And I think we need more writers that way. She was only 51. I think it's a big loss for the reading community in this area.
Mm-hmm. Terrific, terrific person. Thanks so much for coming in. Always a pleasure to have you with us. Ron Chimelis.
Thank you, Jim.